The Los Angeles Chargers are in more trouble than you think. Not only did they get absolutely embarrassed last year in the playoffs, but now they're in a tricky situation with their franchise quarterback, and this may end in a scenario where Justin Herbert is wearing a different uniform next year. And we also have star players like Austin Eckler upset with the franchise right now and disrespected by them. And we've seen that the players may not respect their coach based off of Joey Bosa's body language in the playoffs last year. So we're gonna break down the problems that are arising for the LA Chargers. Make sure you like this video and subscribe to this channel for more NFL content. Head coach of the LA Chargers, Brandon Staley, has been yelled at by players throughout his career. Even as a defensive coordinator with the LA Rams in 2020, he got chewed out by players like Jalen Ramsey. Staley was hired after the firing of head coach of the Chargers, Anthony Lynn, for the 2021 season. And we've often wondered, how much do players respect Brandon Staley? Do Chargers players really want to run through a wall for this guy? Especially when you see him doing pre-game exercises like this in a primetime matchup live on international television. Who knows, maybe this pumps Joey Bosa up. And speaking of Joey Bosa, we've seen some antics from him ever since Brandon Staley has become the head coach. Last year when the Chargers had an embarrassing loss to the Jacksonville Jaguars, 27-0 after the first half, and the Chargers blew a historic 27-0 lead in the wild card. And Joey Bosa was heated at the situation, heated at the referees. You saw him slam his helmet on the ground live all over primetime television. And Brandon Staley, he's used to taking the abuse from the players, and you saw him go out of his way and pick up the little helmet for frustrated Joey Bosa. And Joey Bosa displayed how little he respects Brandon Staley in this moment. He went and grabbed the helmet that Staley handed to him and slammed it back on the freaking ground. You can come out here and say, oh, he's just frustrated at the situation, but I cannot picture a player on other teams doing this to their head coach. Can you picture a player doing this to Belichick? Can you picture a player doing this to Andy Reid? I don't think so. And Joey Bosa also displayed how little he's in line by the coaching staff. He does not care if he embarrasses the organization with his off-the-field antics, and that's why you saw him at the NFC Championship game arguing with fans drunk. Joey Bosa watching his brother Nick Bosa compete in the NFC Championship game. Bosa is drinking Trulies, unable to maintain his cool while the fans poke fun at him. He's embarrassing his wife there, his family. They're trying to hold him back, and there's just nothing they can do, and Bosa continues to make a scene, even though that guy should just walk away like a true professional. And you only have players act like this and not worried about their public perception when they're not put in line by their head coach, and not worried about blowback from their franchise or their organization when they do not respect their organization. And it seems like the respect is not going both ways, and that's why you have players like Austin Eckler, the running back for the LA Chargers, the man who has put up tons and tons of numbers for them over the past few years. He's upset about his contract situation, and the Chargers are, in his own words, completely disrespecting him. He says for the first time in his life, he feels disrespected by his own organization. He has 1 year left on his contract, and the Chargers have just refused to have any sort of contract negotiations. They have told Eckler, hey, we're just gonna wait, we're not gonna really talk right now. And so Eckler feels upset because he's produced so much for them over the past few years, and he's not gonna get compensated, and they're not even going to talk to the guy. This has got to put a sour taste in the mouth of some of these other players in the locker room. Brandon Staley, since he's joined the Chargers in 2021, has finished 2 full seasons with them. He has a 4-year contract, so essentially 2 more years on that deal. And what has Staley really accomplished during this time? He's given out fat contracts to defensive players, mainly Khalil Mack and JC Jackson, which proved to be ineffective last year. He's also kept Keenan Allen on the roster and also gave a fat contract to another wide receiver, Mike Williams. He's embarrassed himself on national television doing glute exercises. He's been disrespected by some of his star players like Joey Bosa. He missed the playoffs in 2021, begging to tie against the Las Vegas Raiders and their interim head coach, Rich Bisaccia. And in 2022, while reaching the playoffs finally with Justin Herbert, he had one of the most embarrassing playoff losses in NFL history. And now he's in a critical moment where his franchise quarterback, Justin Herbert, drafted in 2020, might not sign with the team long term, because we've seen another 2020 quarterback, Jalen Hurts, get a record-breaking contract, the most on an annual basis, $51 million a year. And when you look at the dead money, about 3 years fully guaranteed. So the Chargers have to ask themselves, are they willing to pay Justin Herbert this much money? They've definitely taken advantage of the fact that he is on a rookie contract, giving out fat deals to to some other players. But it does seem like they are hesitant to pay Justin Herbert because there are now some reports that contract negotiations have stalled with Justin Herbert. And you have Herbert's camp saying that he wants to keep it private and they have no updates. And now you have GM of the Chargers, Tom Telesco, saying that he has no updates on the contract for the future franchise quarterback. And it seems like the likely option right now after the draft is that the Chargers will exercise their 5th-year option on Justin Herbert. The question is, will this make Justin Herbert happy? Is he looking for Jalen Hurts money and he's seen Jalen Hurts get it? So he's probably wondering, why don't I get it? And if you're looking at Herbert, are you willing to take a team-friendly deal with the Chargers, a team that missed the playoffs in 2021, that even though they sign all these great pieces, they sign these receivers, sign these defensive players to big contracts, still unable to get it done at a high level with Justin Herbert while he's on his rookie deal? So imagine how much trouble this team will have once they sign Justin Herbert to a fat contract. So perhaps Herbert is going to look elsewhere and doesn't mind that there are no updates on this contract extension. And could we have a Lamar Jackson situation with Justin Herbert and the LA Chargers after the 5th-year option is exercised? I think this is totally in play. Justin Herbert is also represented by Athletes First, which has given quarterbacks fat contracts, mainly Deshaun Watson. The Deshaun Watson contract was via Athletes First, along with Dak Prescott's contract as well. So I don't think Justin Herbert's going to be cheap for the LA Chargers anyways. And Brandon Staley, is he really the guy to convince Justin Herbert to take a team-friendly deal? Is it possible that the LA Chargers kind of view Justin Herbert as a social media quarterback and maybe they don't value him as highly as he values himself? All of this will be answered soon. Let me know your predictions in the comments below and check out some of these other videos on this channel you may have missed. My name is WiFiWillie. Peace out, and I hope you have a good one.